Too late. Welcome back, Book Besties. We are here for another episode. Again, we didn't read a book this week. We are kind of largely going to be yapping, and it's going to be about Sarah J. Maas. Those are the two things that we have discussed.
Yes.
It may be chaotic.
It will be.
Welcome to the club.
It will be. Welcome to Reading on the Rocks, folks. Welcome back, Kelsey.
Yeah,
Thank
welcome
you.
back, Kelsey.
I'm back. I'm no longer sick, dying of influenza.
And taking care
and
of
moving
kids.
and baby.
moving. Also have influenza.
Yeah, all the things. Thank goodness.
Kelsey, what are you drinking? Let's start with you.
I am drinking. So Walmart was out of Sprite Zero. They only had Sprite Zero with cherry and lime, which I've never had before, but it's delish. So this is Sprite Zero cherry lime with pineapple white rum.
Delish. Mm-hmm. That sounds scrumptious.
It really is.
Sounds scrumptious. Morgan, what do you got today?
I've got a tangerine seltzer, white variety, and then I have a blackberry on standby because she's almost gone, and I feel like we're gonna need a couple beverages for this argument.
Yeah.
So some of these might be low-key unpopular opinions amongst the group.
Yeah.
It's pretty high-key, actually. It's not very low-key. It's pretty high-key.
It's pretty high.
What do you got, Chan?
I have 7-Up with my favorite vodka in this whole world, and I just learned today that this vodka is made with it's like wild berry mango, but it must be artificial mango because I never have a reaction to it.
Oops, that's a risk you're running. That's funny.
Well, I've had it like since I turned 21. I've drank it, and I've been a popular fun fact about Chandler. I'm allergic to mangoes. Well, like literally allergic to life, but I have an EpiPen for mangoes. And I've drank this since before I was 21, and I got diagnosed with my mango allergy before I was 21. Not that we condone underage drinking in this podcast. We don't condone it.
Yes,
don't do it.
We don't condone underage drinking.
We don't.
Never.
And also, don't read the books that we're reading if you're underage.
Yeah, please
yes,
don't.
that too. But since I was 21, I've been drinking this stuff. This is literally my favorite vodka in the whole world, and
that's so funny. That's like, Chan, that reminds me of when we went out one day. I can't remember. Yeah, you're a fucking hazard to yourself. Have I told you this, Kelsey? We went out, I think with my mom and Mickey.
Yeah.
And she tells the bartender, first of all, podcast folks, she's allergic to every citrus fruit out there, essentially.
Not every citrus fruit.
Okay,
No.
Pretty
just
close,
pineapple, mangoes, and kiwis.
Pineapples, mangoes, kiwis. You know what they make fruity drinks out of at the bars? Pineapples, mangoes, and kiwis. So she tells the bartender, and this is before I knew her well enough to maybe like be aware that I should be kind of babysitting a little bit, making sure Chandler doesn't poison herself. And she tells the bartender, I'll drink anything you make me as long as it's fruity. That's what she said. And she was halfway through the drink before she told me she was allergic to mangoes. She's like, there must not be mangoes in this one. Like, Chandler, that's crazy.
That's okay.
Like Russian roulette with
life on the edge.
Oh my gosh. Have I ever told you the story when I was lifeguarding and I scared the poor high schooler I was working with?
No, what'd you do?
This poor high schooler. So I was a lifeguard in college, and oh gosh, it must have been my senior year of college. I didn't have much longer left of employee there, and I was eating some sunflower seeds because the pool was empty. We were just chilling, and I was eating some sunflower seeds, and I could feel my throat like acting a little funky. And it wasn't like I didn't break out in hives, I didn't need my EpiPen, but my throat was acting funky, and I was like, I think I need a Benadryl. And I turned to this. Oh God, she was the sweetest little high schooler. But I turned to this high schooler and I go, so I think I'm having an allergic reaction. I'm going to go see if the front desk has some Benadryl. I'll be right back. She goes, what do you I'm allergic to peanuts, and she knew this.
Did you know that you're allergic to everything?
No, she didn't. She knew about the peanuts, but she didn't. She's like, "Did you eat peanuts on accident? What do you mean you're having an allergic reaction?" And I just casually went, "I'll see you later." I just casually walked down the pool deck, grabbed a Benadryl, and went back to work. And she was like, "I thought you were gonna die."
Aw,
poor high schooler.
Kid.
And thank God every day that I'm not allergic to shit like you.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, my life sucks.
I know, without Reese's cups and peanut butter sandwiches, fuck that.
When I'm having bad days, before I had a child, when I was having a really bad day at work, I'd walk up to like my coworkers and I'd be like, "It's a Reese's peanut butter cup kind of day." And they're like, "Chandler,
just take
stop."
me out.
I mean, if you're gonna go, that's the way.
I mean, yeah.
Exactly.
Peanut butter
Death
cups?
by Reese's peanut butter cup is the perfect way to go.
Exactly.
Can you imagine the papers?
How'd she die?
Reese's peanut butter
cup.
That's funny.
I told my mom the other day though. I said, and I told my husband this too. I went, if I'm on my deathbed, if I am legitimately about to die, somebody better be shoving a Reese's peanut butter cup in my mouth.
I mean,
that is how, like,
don't
that is
unplug me, just shove Reese's peanut butter cup in my mouth.
It's like feeding an elderly dog peanut butter or chocolate before you put them down. Like McDonald's hamburgers, that's your equivalent.
Yeah.
Literally.
Like, let her live before she dies.
Shove it in there, make my jaw chomp that up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She'll be thanking us from the other side. That's dumb. Okay, let's talk about books, y'all.
Questionable life choices. Let's talk about Sarah J. Maas in our opinions.
This episode, ladies and gentlemen, will be hot takes.
It's been a long time coming.
It has been a long time coming.
We have talked about this episode for a long time. Mm-hmm. Should we do books first? Like the type the series first? Like do it series by series?
Sure.
That was a crisp one.
Series by series, what do you mean?
Oh, wait, first, Kelsey missed the yap about what she's been reading, and I need some titles with this. Kelsey, what are you reading?
I need a comprehensive list of favorites.
A comprehensive list. Okay, so since the last episode that I was on, which was a long time ago, like a month or something, month and a week or something like that.
Failed at filming.
Yeah, I went through quite a bit of a hyperfixation on cowboy romances. And before anyone comes at me for cowboy romances, it's more like Western romances because not all of them are cowboys. So I read like 12 of these books in a row.
Not like 12. You read 12.
I read 12. I mean, I read 12 in a row. One of them, however, was a reread. I reread Heartless because really I'm just chasing Cade Eaton. I'm looking for a new Cade Eaton in my life, and he's nowhere to be found, people. I'm sorry to tell you. But I reread Heartless just to make sure he was still my number one cowboy. He is, in fact, still my number one cowboy, and I love him to death. But I started with Elliot Rose's Crimson Ridge series, and then I tried a little Wells Ranch series, Bailey Hannah, and then I did, Jessica Peterson, Cash, and then Brooke Montgomery, Maggie Gates, Paisley Hope. Paisley Hope was my probably number 2 favorite, and then ended with another Maggie Gates. I kind of went all over the place. Some of them were fun. A few were 4 stars, but mostly they just didn't live up to it. So then, after my 12 book streak of Western romances, I went back and reread a couple old Western romances, because that's like one of my original, like way back when I was reading Regency romances when I was like 19, 20, I found old Western romances also. Very fun time. I love them. But like true cowboy romances, those are fun. So I went back and reread a couple of those, some Jodie Thomas books, which are great.
Fun.
So yeah. And then I've been in a slump ever since. I literally haven't read anything else in days. So I don't know.
I was going to ask you, did you finish the Regencies before you did Cade's novel?
Yeah. I did. And then I went back. Speaking of last time, because you guys were throwing shade at me last week when I was not there. Reading shade? Yes. Reading out of order. How weird it is to read out of order.
Wild. Kelsey, that is not throwing shade because we've told you many times.
I know.
No, it's not throwing shade because we've told you.
But she wasn't told to defend herself. So.
But I wasn't here to defend myself. Yeah. But yes, I read
wild.
I read romances out of order because all of these, like Chestnut Springs, they're interconnected standalones. They are not a real series. So yes, I start and
low-key hot take.
Hot take.
Yeah, this is Kelsey's hot take.
I will read the summaries and I will decide which person I think I like the most, and I will read that book. And then from that book, I'll go backwards. So like Chestnut Springs, I read number 2, then number 5, then number 3, and then number 4.
And never number 1.
Order. And never number 1. And that is because I have a thing about dudes with long hair, and Rhett has long hair.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I get it.
Speaking of Rhett,
I just pretend that they didn't say it.
Yeah, and if I had started with Rhett's book, I'm afraid that I would have not continued. Like, that's the problem that I have with reading. And these are interconnected. So I'm like, I want to start off with the one that's going to speak to me the most. And then if I get a little tingling while reading that to read something else in the series, then I will. But
a little tingling.
A little tingling. Like, this is how I get there.
That's funny.
And then, like,
I feel like all three of us are so different in that. Because I'll always start at the beginning, but I'll fucking DNF it in a second.
Exactly. But then I'm scared, like, what if you had hated the first one with Rhett, like, so much? Yeah. And then you would have stopped. And I would have been so sad because I swear to God, you're going to love Cade and Willa so much. But she would have just stopped.
First one.
Yeah, I would have.
But here's the thing. You love the first one just because of the dad. The dad, fucking top-notch, amazing. Yeah. Like, he's the best.
He is the
and
best.
You would read just to see more of his one-liners because he does come up with the wildest shit.
Yes, but this is Morgan, the queen of DNFing.
Queen of DNFing. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the queen of DNFing. She could have, like, hated the two characters, and even if she liked the
TikTok
the
bio.
third character, yeah, the
queen of DNFing.
If she hated them so much, I don't think she would have continued, and I would have been sad because
I'll put a book down in a second.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
and I won't. It like ruins. There's something like wrong with my brain because it ruins like the whole author for me. Like if I had read, listen, I love Crescent City. This is our gateway. This is our gateway.
Hot take.
Yeah, hot take. Very hot take.
If I had started with Crescent City, I'm not 100% sure I would have made it to Tog.
Yep.
Which is so funny.
But the stories, it's just not, it doesn't vibe with me.
Yeah. That's so funny because I started Crescent City.
She started with it. Yeah,
I know, but you're a very different reader than I am.
You're a very different reader.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have gone through with it if I had started with Crescent City either. It's just not my vibe.
It's not. I don't think I still haven't read the last.
I haven't read the second one.
Yeah,
still haven't.
Am I the only one who's read every single book Sarah J. Maas has published?
Probably. Well, because neither of us have read the orange fuckface book.
Here we go, folks.
Okay, here we go.
This is it.
Here's Chandler's
Welcome
argument.
to the podcast.
Let's finish Crescent City. Let's go by series. Let's finish Crescent City. I read Crescent City.
We haven't read it. Just you.
Yeah, what are we going to talk about?
We've only read the first one. What are we going to talk about?
I don't know. I
don't know what's in it.
started with Crescent City in Alaska with Kelsey.
You did. Yep.
And I remember telling Kelsey when I first started the first one, I was like, I love Connor. And Kelsey's like, don't get attached.
And I was like, uh-oh. Whoopsie.
Yep. I think you sent in the group chat something about Danica. Because you used to be loved Danica too. And Kelsey and
I used to.
Did we start a different chat?
I think we started a different chat and we were like, oh
yeah, when
shit.
you started talking about
Is
Danica.
Taylor gonna have a mental breakdown with this?
Kelsey, I'm not kidding. I remember when I finished Crescent City 2. You, Chris, and Joe, you were somewhere. Your parents were still in New Mexico or Ecuador, wherever the fuck your parents were. I don't know where they were. They were still there, and I was in the house by myself. You guys were somewhere. I can't even remember where you guys went that weekend. And I was home with the dogs by myself. And I finished CC, and I remember throwing it down your parents' stairs because I was so mad. What happened? I remember finishing CC2 and chucking it down the stairs because I was so pissed. And what happened?
That's so funny.
I was like, God damn it. And then I tried to read ACOTAR right after that. And that was my fatal mistake. I did get through ACOTAR. I did get through number 1, but I stopped and Kelsey asked me why. And I was like, I just need her to be happy for a minute.
I mean, that's a valid point.
I get it.
It's a happy ending and I need it. And I was like, and she was like, oh, okay.
I just need her to be happy for a minute. Like, if I don't read on, nothing bad will happen.
Exactly. But I remember I did, for me, my Sarah J. Maas order was wild because I went CC, ACOTAR 1, TOG 1 through 8. I've still never read Assassin's Blade. Actually, okay, that's the one Sarah J. Maas book I haven't read, was Assassin's Blade.
So you can't walk around with that badge that you've read every SJM book if you've never read the first SJM book.
That's not the first SJM book.
Okay, but it's like the first of the first story.
Okay, and then I went and finished ACOTAR.
You've never read Assassin's Blade? Okay, I've never read Tower of Dawn. Let's be true.
I love Tower of Dawn, but I did not. Assassin's Blade just made me so mad because I remember it came out when I was waiting so impatiently for the next book to come out. Then it came out and I found out it was a fucking prequel and I wanted to rage.
I feel like I'm not getting any answers.
It makes me so mad to this day
that
she came out with a prequel when I was like hungry for the third book. So it just makes me mad to even go back. I'm like,
it makes sense. It will.
I do.
Assassin's Blade is a masterpiece. Let me make that very clear. It's beautiful.
So I've heard.
Okay.
She was young. She was still young when she wrote Assassin's Blade, but
yeah,
it's chef's kiss.
Okay. I feel like we're ready to go TOG. Should we save ACOTAR and be our last?
Sure, because we're not going to come to an agreement on that.
No, we're not. TOG hot takes. What do we have? Again, never read Assassin's Blade. I've never done the tandem read, and quite honestly, I fucking hate the Cole book. With the passion.
Love it.
You hated it?
I hated it.
Oh, I didn't read it.
I did the tandem read, and I loved it so much. In fact, which one is the one that you read? Queen of... no.
Queen of...
Which one's the one that you read with it? Arguably, I like it better than that one.
Queen of
but
Shadows,
I remember the tandem read was like perfect because
Queen
once
of
I
Shadows.
got like Queen of
Shadows or Empire of Storms. I think it's Queen of Shadows.
No, Queen of Shadows is like 4th, isn't it? I think it's Empire of Storms. I don't remember, but anyway.
No, I
remember. It was like reading it, and every time I got fed up with the Empire of Storms or whatever, then I could go over to Tower of Dawn, and same vice versa. I don't think either of them were necessarily super better than the other, but I definitely loved Tower of Dawn because you get the other romances and the beginning of whatever her fucking name is, Irene. Her
Yeah, but Cole
whole
is just so
backstory.
fucking
She's
annoying.
amazing. He's not, and this is my hot take. Cole is the most like an actual fucking person. All he wants is to save his best fucking friend. And also Aelin, who I love dearly, by the way. Aelin is my #1 FMC of all time. But she won't explain anything to fucking Kale.
Yeah, she doesn't.
She will not explain her shit. So when she comes back, all Kale's thinking is she's gonna kill my best fucking friend. And she's been lying to me this whole time. And he's reacting like anybody would. And that's the only reason that people are fucking mad at him is because he's so close to an actual fucking human being. And Aelin won't tell him anything. If Aelin had came back and said, I'm going to try to fucking save him, Kale. I'm going to try to fucking save him. Okay? Like, chill out. I'm going to try to save him. But she didn't do that.
But that's not good literature.
I know. She just came back and said, no, I'm the assassin. I'm going to kill fucking him. And no, nothing's going to stand in my way. And Kale's like, stop being so crazy. He's just a normal person with like a total like arc.
He's a person with feelings.
Exactly. And the only time that I really like super dislike Cole is like a couple of those instances that they had together. But then I like stopped and I'm like, Aelin's literally not saying anything to him. But then it did annoy me when he was like paralyzed and he was being all sad.
Why? Yeah.
But then that's why you have to read Tower of Dawn, because Irene or Erin or whatever. No, she like smacks him out of it. She's like, what the fuck are you doing, Kale? Like, shut up. And like, she totally gets him out of that funk, and he totally bounces back.
Sick.
And then he's just like a normal person.
Maybe I should.
I don't know. I feel like that love triangle was also wild.
I did get some serious FOMO with Kingdom of Ash when I didn't. First of all, you get a glimpse of her in whatever book it was, and then she comes back in Kingdom of Ash, and she's like just Assassin's Blade. Fucking badass. Yeah. And she's cool as shit. And I was mad that I hadn't read it at that point.
Yeah, and then you get to see what's the Sand Prince? Sartak.
Something.
Sartak or something like that. His love story. I think it's an S.
Whatever.
I don't remember.
I haven't read it
so much we don't pay attention. Yeah. And then the chick that Kale was with, he left with one chick and then he came back with another, or a situationship anyway. But then you get to see their love story too, and then you get to see the fucking griffins and shit, and the whole spider hatchling backstory is in Tower of Dawn.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like they find it.
Morgan,
that's a whole thing that happens in Tower of Dawn. And yeah, her backstory, Irene's or whatever fucking name is, her whole backstory is super fucking awesome. She's such a badass, and she totally just like bitch slaps Kale out of his.
She's like, get it together.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's cool. I super loved her her like powers too. Those were fun.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't really speak on the Kale argument because I only know shitty Kale.
Well, see, but I liked Kale in the beginning. I'm not gonna be.
I didn't.
I'm not gonna. I did. I loved him from the first. I didn't like Dorian because here we are again. Kale was the grumpy guy, and Dorian was the golden retriever. That's
I feel like Kale's just like a fucking
that love triangle.
Cracker. Low sodium saltine cracker is what Kale is. And I
thought that love triangle was fucking wild.
I didn't even see it as like a love triangle.
Dorian
was like a nothing.
Dorian's a weakling.
We can segue into your argument there, which is basically the same.
Yeah. My hot take is Dorian's a crybaby throughout the entire book. The only redeeming moment he had is when he's told...
I have an idea.
Jesus.
That was so aggressive.
That was
okay, when he's told
aggressive.
What?
When he told, is her name Manon?
Manon.
I call her Manon. Whatever color you tell me. That's the only cool thing he ever says in the whole fucking book, and he's just a crybaby and a poor me the whole time, and I've never liked him.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm with you. I didn't like him in the beginning. Up until the very last book when he started having interactions with Manon, I didn't like him at all. It was only when he started having some interactions with Manon, I was like, oh, okay.
Like, you might be a little cool.
It was like 4 lines in the entire series that I even liked.
That's the only time I ever enjoyed Dorian.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't like super love him, but I didn't mind him. I'm either or on him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Even though he's a wheat thin, I feel like a wheat thin compared to the low sodium saltine cracker.
Yeah, I mean they're both.
Okay,
they're supposed to both be.
What cracker is Rowan?
Rowan is like the best cracker in the world. So like Ritz fucking crackers with yummy cheese.
Yeah, he's a Frito.
Yeah,
he's a Dorito, nacho cheese Dorito.
Yeah.
Okay. Lorcan. What cracker is Lorcan?
Oh, Lorcan.
Love Lorcan.
Love Lorcan. What did Lorcan do?
Okay. While Morgan thinks about this, you remember that audible gasp I had?
Yes.
When SJM was doing like PR for CC3, they were asked, are you going to start a new series? What are you going to do next? And she said, we're going to revisit an old series, which everyone believes is TOG.
I fucking hope so.
What if she doesn't revisit TOG in the sense of TOG, but she revisits it and we learn what Lorcan did?
I was just going to say.
Let's learn what Lorcan did.
Yeah, let's learn what he did.
Let's learn what Lorcan did.
I remember reading that and fucking turning the page and realizing we'd never found
so mad
out. I was like, what the? I'm like, I only got half a book. There's got to be a
Speaking of female main character, Elodie is arguably one of my favorites.
She's delicious. She's wonderful.
Love her. Like, maybe top 2 for me after Aelin, because I love Aelin, but Elodie has, like, no powers. She's just a fucking badass. Not to mention she's just cool. A bad leg. She's just fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I also love that there's a dog in this entire series.
Fleetfoot.
Yes. Fleetfoot.
Little golden retriever.
We know his name. Don't remember anybody
Won't forget that one.
Okay. Cracker. What cracker's Lorcan?
Okay, so I have a idea here. So you know when you eat a Talkie and you're like,
no, I don't eat Talkie
for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like a rolled spicy, like a rolled spicy chip. And you're like, this is crazy. And why am I doing this to myself? And then you kind of get to eating them and you're like, this is actually scrumptious.
Yeah, gotta eat some more.
A Talkie. Yeah.
Do you want to hear a funny story about Takis?
Okay, Chandler.
Talkies. Okay.
Tell us your Talkie story.
It's not about me, but one time when we were at Billings for the 4th of July, and I took Neil to my uncle's house, and he stayed there. And Neil found Neil is my other uncle, and he has Down syndrome. Neil found Takis in my cousin's room and ate the Takis and had the worst night of his life.
Aww.
Neil.
Takis.
No more Takis, buddy.
No more Takis.
Oh, I fucking love him. But
that's funny.
That's great. Okay, you want to go with
Did
your
we have
final...
any other SJM, any other TOG?
Tog ones? No.
Should I go with the hot take or the medium take?
I don't know. How long do you want this episode to be, Chandler?
Yeah.
I think you guys agree with me on the medium take. Once I explain my logic.
Okay,
let's run it. Okay, medium take on Akatar. Elaine doesn't get together with Az. I understand a lot of people want Az and Elaine. However, if we would have seen some foreshadowing, and there's no fucking foreshadowing because when in book 5, Nesta does some shit that changes the baddies, hers and Feyre's, She doesn't change, so they can have an Illyrian baby. She doesn't change Elaine's. Therefore, Elaine is never going to get with Az because she can't have Illyrian babies.
I mean, I'll take it. I don't want them together anyway.
Thank God.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Some of the community does.
I enjoyed the friendship.
Yeah.
Of the two.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect friendship.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to see Lucian get some redemption.
He could use it.
He's been working on it. I think he's been working towards it in the last book. He was really working towards it, but I think I would like to see it full circle.
I've always kind of liked him.
Me too.
Me too.
He's got something coming, I think.
Yeah.
Hottest take. We've had this argument several times.
We've literally had it so many times.
I am not saying, because I don't feel like they listen to me when I say this phrase. I am not saying that Nesta gets 100% redemption. She doesn't get 100% redemption because she is a giant bitch in the first 3 books. I'm not saying that she gets 100%. I am saying that she does get at least 60% redemption for what she does and her character growth in book 5.
I don't care.
You've never read book 5. It doesn't matter.
I don't care what she did. She let her family starve. That's so crazy. That's so crazy. Insane. And then
but here's the thing. You're willing to say that Tamlin gets some redemption? He let Feyre throw up every single night.
Fuck?
Okay, yes,
I never said that.
You have.
I didn't. Roll the tapes. Roll the tapes, Chandler. I never said Tamlin gets redemption. Fuck that guy. I hate Tamlin. I have a bookmark that says Tamlin's a bitch.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if people are going to say that Tamlin can get redemption.
No, Tamlin's a
and
dumb
he
idiot.
Listened to Feyre throw up every single night and did nothing under the mountain, then she gets a little bit of redemption too.
No,
she saved Feyre's life.
Yeah, she saved Feyre's life after they almost died.
Yeah.
From them starving for years. Yes.
She didn't.
And Nesta did nothing.
Nothing.
Nesta did nothing. And then even when she
became, also not only
whatever,
does she
and then
save
she
Feyre's
just
life,
bitched and complained.
Okay, but not only does she save Feyre's life, but she does have some amazing character growth. Okay, first of all, your opinions are invalid because you haven't read book 5, so get fucked.
No.
I have read 25% of book 5.
I've also read how far did you get?
25%.
Yeah, I about got the same.
Like the same.
And she was fucking bitched the whole time.
Literally.
She doesn't bitch the whole entire time.
She has to work up some stairs.
Well, the first 25% then.
Yeah.
That book needs to be 50% shorter if she's going to bitch that much. I'm not reading half of a fucking book of her just being a bitch. I'm not doing it.
Okay, I'm not doing it. I know she's a bitch. The
things that she does for the
16 books from that series is her being a bitch. I know she's a bitch.
Yeah, we don't need any more backstory of her being a bitch.
I'm not saying she's not.
We know.
We know. We know. I'm saying that book needs to be way fucking shorter. We already know she's a bitch. We don't need this backstory. If it was about this
big, I would have finished it, Shannon.
Let's make it a novella.
Guys, I'm not saying she's not a bitch. She is.
Yes.
However, I am saying the things that she does for the priestesses and the other Illyrians, the female Illyrians, the things she does for the female Illyrians do allow for some character growth and redemption. And that's not even counting what she does to save Feyre's life.
I can get on the ship with character growth.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's character growth. Redemption, on the other hand, there's no way. There's no way she gets redemption.
She earns
Cassian.
Cassian.
Jack shit.
She earns Cassian's love.
I mean, she might earn Cassian's love, but I'm not that big of a
fan of Cassian
either.
Cassian isn't as big of a golden retriever as he portrays in the other books.
Yes.
We're not talking about Cassian. We're talking about Nesta.
Fucking Nesta.
I'm just saying, she does.
I think there's just too much. The years and years and years of her being a bitch.
Being terrible.
Do not give her any redemption.
Starting her
I'm not arguing that.
Her elderly, handicapped father. Dude, fuck that.
I'm not arguing. It's okay, so that's like saying that he doesn't get any that Elaine doesn't get any redemption. She didn't do shit either.
No, I don't give a shit about Elaine.
Just because Elaine's not a bitch about it doesn't mean she didn't do shit.
She didn't abuse people.
Yeah.
She just
she did nothing.
So if you're gonna use
I love that meme. Why didn't Elaine grow some fucking food? I love that meme.
Dead ass. Like, girl, you can't do carrots. They're so easy.
Yes. Elaine didn't do anything, but she wasn't a bitch.
But if you're gonna use the argument,
complained about it.
Listen, if you're gonna use the argument that Nesta let them starve, you have to use the same argument with Elaine. Nesta's character flaw as a person is that she's a bitch. That's just who she is. Some people are bitches, and we love them anyways.
I mean, Elaine is like a wet noodle. They both have their things.
Like a wet noodle. Please elaborate. How?
just a boring nothingness, okay? She just is flopped around doing nothing. She just goes wherever the wind blows her. Okay?
Yeah, she's just there.
But she's also like victim mentality the whole time, which I mean, I don't like Elaine really either.
I'm with you.
She's not doing anything to make you actively hate her. She's not putting everything else, every one of her problems on everyone else.
Her whole crybaby thing is pretty annoying.
It is annoying, but she's not aggressively saying that all of her problems are everyone else's fault and this is all terrible for me and I'm the only one affected by this and I'm super depressed and I'm just going to be a fucking bitch about it to everyone. Which Nesta does.
Have you ever thought maybe that's how Nesta protects her heart?
Yes. And I don't care.
That's exactly how she protects her heart, but I still don't care. Your traumas do not make it okay for you to give trauma to other people. Thank you. You can have traumas, bro. You can have traumas. You can deal with them however you want, but that does not give you the right to traumatize everyone else around you.
Who said that they were traumatized?
They are traumatized. Feyre is traumatized because she's a big baby too. She's traumatized by Nesta being a bitch.
Hot take.
For sure. Hot take. They are babies. I'm just saying all of them. So, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah. But I mean, Feyre's out of the three, the bar is a little low, and Feyre is the top one. But
it is.
It's hard going. It's hard going from Tog and Aelin, and then like going to Aghatar because it's just a downward slope.
I feel like though Feyre does make strides to be like a more Aelin type of person.
Yeah, she tries.
I don't think that anybody can ever be Aelin.
No.
Fuck no.
Because that's the thing. If you have to try, then you're not an Aelin. She's just,
you're off the mark
there.
If you have to try.
Yeah. Doesn't work.
Yeah, Feyre. She's not my favorite. I think I like Bryce more than I like Feyre. Which is one of the reasons why I don't want to read any more Crescent City, because all I see on TikTok is people disliking Bryce the further they read. Really?
That's what I see.
I just know that people keep saying it gets boring, which is about where I stopped, about halfway through the second.
Yeah.
I feel like Bryce, I do like Bryce. I do think she has some great character development throughout the series I've read them all. I do think that she does have some great character development, and her time in Valaris is fucking top notch, in my opinion. However, she is not my favorite character in the entire series. I would like to see more of her half-brother and his roommates, because those guys, chef's kiss. Like what they do, how they act, all of that, love. I'm here for it. I want their books.
Yeah. I mean, you know what book I want. I need an As book.
Everybody needs an As book.
Everybody needs an As book, but I particularly need an As book.
I
a
need
fan of
a What Lorcan Did book.
Yes, I also would like a What Lorcan Did book.
Yep.
Approximately, however big
if you're listening,
Silver Flame is. That's how big I want.
Yep.
To know. That's how big the book is.
Because Lorcan knows a lot.
He does.
Very old.
I know he does.
A lot. So let's make it an entire fucking 700-page book. Like okay?
I do want to see, like...
He knows a lot. He knows a lot of things.
What Lorcan did, and then, like, I also want to see a little bit of Lorcan and LD.
I would read a whole fucking 16-book series of them, if I could.
Yeah.
I loved them.
Would. Yep. Probably
no, but I feel like if she did a 16-book series, they wouldn't be people's favorites anymore.
Well,
yeah. Well, I understand. Like, if you mean it'd be like overplayed, it'd be like the fucking 4th Jurassic Park movie, and you're just like, this is just dinosaurs now.
Well, because then, like, you know, this is just dinosaurs.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, because I mean, if it's a 16 book, then obviously they're gonna like fall apart and then get together and then fall apart and get together, which is my least favorite thing. But
that's also my least favorite thing.
But I would also just read a series about them going on different adventures. Make the plot super good and just tiny instances of them together, and I would still read it.
Yeah.
What if you did like what if she did like a 700-page with like 5 different novellas? Yes. Of just the 2 of them.
I'm there. Count me in.
That would be good.
Pre-order now.
Add to cart.
I need a babysitter.
Just send SJM money already. Any other hot takes?
Any SJM hot takes? Because I got hot takes, but they're none of more SJM.
I don't know. I just love SJM.
I know.
There's a theory floating around, and I can kind of see this theory that Tamlin fathered a person.
Fathered a person?
We haven't read it. We can't discuss it. You haven't read it.
We haven't read it? One of the CC books?
No, it's not. It's Tamlin. It's Silver Flames.
Oh, Silver Flames. Well, they connect. Don't look at me like I'm crazy. They connect. He could have fathered someone in fucking CC. I don't know.
They do connect.
That'd be wild.
I'm kind of scared about her saying that it's going to be a different world or go back to a different world. Because while I would love the fact of seeing characters from Tog again, I'm scared of like it ruining things. I don't want to see Aelin again because Aelin has been through enough. Leave her alone. Okay?
Yeah, exactly. Let her have her happy ending. Be done with it.
And let's, like, that world is fine, okay? Leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
But, like,
but
other
I want
characters...
to see the happy ending.
Well, then...
That's what I really like.
If we just
I want a
whole bunch of
novella.
books of... Yeah. I do.
Because I want to see her happy ending. I want to see her and Rowan, like, post everything. Not just, like, a month later or whatever. I want to see it, like, 5 years later, 10 years later.
And they have little
kids.
babies.
What do they do? What do they do with their kingdom? And what do they change? And how do they develop their community? Like, I want to see that.
Right, but if there's a story in there, then there has to be some kind of problem. Yeah. And I don't think she ever deserves a problem again.
Yes.
Fair. Agreed.
If there could be, like,
this needs, like, a Christmas novella.
Yeah.
Like TV shows do a Christmas novella.
Fun. Can you imagine?
Sarah J. Maas, we need a What Lorcan Did book, and we need a Christmas novella.
Yeah. And it's just like them, they can't find a tree or something. That's the problem. That's the best thing about Christmas novellas.
Oh my god, that'd be so fun. No, I'm gonna
They got snowed in.
Yeah.
They got snowed in. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
I really would.
Anyways.
Any
more hot takes?
No. Kelsey, you know the book that we're reading next. Morgan and I couldn't remember it.
Okay, so for next week, we are actually going to read a book again. It's been a while, guys.
Books.
We are going to read A Stark View by Alexis Patton. So it's like a sci-fi dystopian kind of first
kind
in
of
the
a
series.
Step in a different
Step
direction
outside.
for us.
Yeah. Step outside, but I think it's great. I have already read it. I'm trying to force them to read it. So this is how I do it.
Kelsey
like,
just uses her
grew up on
podcast as a way to
dystopians.
force us to read us books.
Yeah.
I grew up on dystopians, though, so I'm all for it. I love dystopians.
I feel like the only dystopian I've read was that Starbringer.
You've only read Starbringer?
I read Starbringer. Yeah, I really liked
Hunger Games?
No. I wasn't like
crazy.
God.
Oh my god, Chandler. You need to read
Hunger
Games.
Inheritance Game and you haven't read Hunger Games.
I'm almost done with that series. But
oh my god, Jan. You need to get off this podcast right now and go read Hunger Games.
Go read Hunger Games. Maybe you should read all of these dystopian books that Morgan and I already know backwards and forwards from when we were growing up. You need to read those ones before we get into this.
Yes.
Here's the thing.
We need to culturize you first.
I didn't read anything other than romance. Like Sarah Dessen.
Yeah.
Loved her. Lock and Key, I've read
Sarah
so
Dessen.
many times. Two Way by Lauren Barnhart. I read that book so many times, my copy started to get destroyed. That's how many times I read Two Way by Lauren Barnhart. Like, I was a diehard romance girly. I was like, I'm never, like, fantasy just doesn't pull me in. And then, because of you two fucking talking at the rant, I was like, I'll try it.
You just had, you know what got you into this? The whole reason we're here is Chandler got FOMO.
Literally.
Yep. That's the whole reason.
So you need it again. Go back and read the Hunger Games. Go back and read Divergent.
But I've watched the movies. Here's the thing.
No, it doesn't matter if you
watch
the
movies, and I'm worried that it's gonna ruin my like opinion of them.
Of the movie? Chandler, that's so backwards. I can't. No. We have to go.
No. We have to go.
We have to go.
I can't do this, Chandler.
I can't do this.
No, I said I've watched the movies, and I'm worried that the movies are going to ruin my opinions of the books. Like, I watched let me retract.
They're different enough that I think
you can do it. One or two of the Hunger Games.
Well,
I haven't watched all of the Hunger Games.
Well, then read the books.
And I've never watched Divergent.
Divergent was shit in the tank. Divergent's terrible.
I like Divergent, but
the movies though,
it's not for everybody. The movies, I still watch the first one. No. not anymore.
I hated them.
Not anything past the first one, but I like Theo James too much to not watch that movie. I just
who doesn't like Theo James?
He's great.
It's fair.
Also,
but I only watched the first one. I don't watch the next ones. But yes, you need to read at least the Hunger Games and like what else is some original.
I love
Twilight. You haven't even watched Twilight, so
I haven't read or watched Twilight.
That's not dystopian, but you do.
It's not dystopian, but you need to read Twilight.
Read Twilight.
Well,
I was real. I had a friend. Shout out to Maddie, who was obsessed with Twilight when we were in high school, and
shout out Maddie. She should.
I couldn't get into it. I was like, "This is Twilight." Well, I won't read it. My mom's read it.
You've grown a lot, Chandler. You've grown a lot, Chandler.
What?
Go back and read it.
Maddie won't read a fantasy, but I always recommend her fantasies, and she's like, "No."
That's insane that she went Twilight to then not reading fantasy.
Yeah.
She prefers mystery murders and
I'll read some
romance.
of those too, but
okay, hot take. Inheritance Games needs to change their fucking cover.
It looks very fantasy. All of us thought it was fantasy.
Isn't it in the fantasy section at Barnes & Noble?
No.
I could have sworn
I don't even know. I don't even know, but it's 100% mystery, 0% fantasy.
That's crazy.
That makes me want to not read it.
Yeah.
It's good. I do, like I said.
I've heard really good things.
Like I told you guys, 3.75.
Yeah, but you're a really generous rater.
Yeah.
Hey, if somebody's going to put their hard-earned time to write a book, it's going to be above a 1 no matter what.
Well, if I don't finish it because I don't like it, unfortunately,
SO1.
that's just how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's true. All right.
Before you argue about more stuff.
What is the book that we were reading? Repeat that.
Us Dark Few by Alexis Patton, and we're gonna read the whole book. It's only like 300 and something pages, so
it's only 300 pages.
Oh, I mean, we're used to like 700, so
yeah,
it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Anyway, we'll read the whole book, and then we'll talk about that next week. And then after that, we've got some cool things brewing. So we'll let you know next time.
Got a special guest coming.
Ooh, yeah. Special guest.
First ever guest.
Shout out, Mitch. Awesome. Well, thanks for listening to our ramblings and our hot takes.
God, this is a big gap.
Yep. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.